Spielberg. Award for Achievement in Film.
Thank you. Well, listen, thank you. Thank you, because I wouldn't be here without you. I wouldn't be standing here getting this without you supporting these movies and supporting what we do and, you know, staying kids, no matter what your age. You're kids, and you'll be kids the rest of your lives. I feel the same way. I've been a child all my life. You can ask my wife, you know, I'm not ready to grow up. If I start growing up, I'll actually, that's when I'll stop making movies, which I don't intend to do. But really, thank you so much. You know, we all love the same source material that has brought all of us here. And the source material has always been the collective imaginations of so many brilliant, brilliant artists and storytellers that have just given us our waking hours, our dream state hours, so much material to live by. And I just feel very lucky that I can be a part of you. I feel like I should be out there in the audience with you and not standing up here. Because we're all in the same world together, and let's keep working together. Thank you for this. Thank you so much.
Some of the past projects, I'm sure all of you are excited to see one of the new ones, right? So, at this time, it is my pleasure to introduce the moderator of the Tintin panel, Mr. Jeff Boucher of the LA Times and HeroComplex.com.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? Steven Spielberg. Come on, what? Tell us about where it began for you with Tintin. A lot of people come to Tintin when they were young, but not a lot of people in America did. When did you come to Tintin?
Well, what I'm curious to know is how many here have ever read a Tintin book? Yeah, that makes my job a lot easier in order to answer your question, because Tintin, you know, in the 1920s by Hergé has been embraced, and kids all over Europe, Asia have grown up with Tintin, not as much in North America. I didn't know much about Tintin at all. I didn't know anything about Tintin until I read a French review in 1981 of Raiders of the Lost Ark that kept comparing my movie to something called Tintin. I did not know what they were talking about. I got one of the books. It was all in French. I don't read French, but I could read the story just based on the illustrations, the amazing artwork, the characters, the humor, the plot. It was all illustrative. It was done by Hergé. I didn't need to read the words. When I got to the end of it, I could see their point. I could see a little bit of it was a bit of a cousin.
And what do you think the commonality was? Is it sort of the globe-trotting, the sense of adventure, that sort of thing? Or?
Well, you know, just that, you know, in the world of Hergé, Tintin was a reporter. And you're not supposed to do this when you're a journalist, you know this. But Tintin, you know, kind of put himself into the stories he was supposed to be reporting on, and Tintin became the story. In a sense, Indiana Jones is sent out to, you know, to find and unearth some kind of antiquity, often a paranormal antiquity, and he gets very, very involved more in the story of the adventure than in the mission of what he's actually trying to accomplish. In that sense, there is a kinship between both genres.
You know, speaking of Indiana Jones, last month was the 30th anniversary of Raiders of the Lost Ark. And on behalf of the world, I just want to say thanks again for that. It's a pretty perfect film. Now, you know, with a movie like this, it's performance capture, and we're going to talk a lot about that. You know, I guess the first thing I want to ask you, though, is when you're casting, you've never done a performance capture film like this, where do you start with casting on something like that?
Well, when I'm casting something like this, you start the way you cast a normal movie. You find the best actor for the part. Because the actors simply, and as you probably all know by now, the actors, you don't identify, let's say, Daniel Craig, who's in our movie. You won't see Daniel's face, but you'll actually see every nuance of his performance through the very thin digital skin of the character that was created by Weta, Peter Jackson's company. But you also, in order to, I had to make the decision, do I shoot this movie live action with a digital dog, or do I shoot this movie, do I animate the film? And so I went to Weta and I asked them to do me a test. Show me what a digital dog looks like up against a human character, preferably a character in a costume from Tintin.
Okay.
And that's how I started this entire process.
And when was that?
That was 6 years ago. That was a long time ago.
Well, we actually have that, don't we? Don't we have that test?
I think you want to see the test? We should.